A very good evening, all. I'm Aditi Lama with the Tuesday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world has surpassed 154 million cases of COVID-19, with now more than 3.2 million deaths. In India, home to many of our viewers, devastating news continues. Today, India surpassed a milestone of 20 million reported coronavirus cases with more than 222,000 deaths. All of these numbers are currently being considered an undercount, possibly by a whole lot. The country's healthcare system is collapsing, with hospitals running out of beds, ventilators, oxygen supplies, and PPE supplies. Multiple Indian states will go into a complete lockdown in the coming days. Here in the United States, we're at more than 32 million cases of COVID-19 with at least 577,000 deaths. This is happening as the pace of vaccinating most U.S. adults is increasing, with 44% of the U.S. population receiving their first shot of COVID-19 vaccine. Millions of Americans are being vaccinated each week, and we hope that all our viewers get their vaccination and help the U.S. fight the coronavirus. We are all looking forward to a sense of normalcy, but it requires most of us to be vaccinated, so do get your shot. Meanwhile, today President Biden announced that the United States will reach 70% herd immunity by July 4th. More on this, along with Indian culture and the iconic Empire State Building, are on the show tonight, so let's begin the South Asian News segment and take a look at the headlines. India surpasses 20 million coronavirus cases, Dr. Tushar Patel, New Jersey. Empire State Building celebrates 90th anniversary, New York City. National Federation of Indian American Association presents virtual conversation on latest on OCI and Visa, New York. It's time for a short break on Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I am Aditi Lama and this is Vision of Asia Tuesday night episode of South Asian News. Let's begin by taking a look at the coronavirus updates and measures. India today surpassed 20 million cases of the coronavirus with at least 222,000 reported COVID-19 deaths. Experts all across are saying that these numbers are a huge undercount as the disease ravages India. Even though foreign aid has begun to come in from many nations, hospitals are still overwhelmed at full capacity and unable to help some of the most critically ill patients that aren't being able to be admitted. Families across India have left to hunt for much needed oxygen, which has run out. Thousands are dying each day, with even crematories overwhelmed by the amount of deaths. Many Indian states will now go into a complete lockdown in the coming days to help protect the people from the worst surge of coronavirus in the world's second most populous nation. In the United States, President Joe Biden announced a goal to have 70% of U.S. adults vaccinated with at least one COVID-19 shot and 160 million adults fully vaccinated by 4th of July Independence Day holiday. He said if the country makes this goal, America will take a serious step toward a return to some sense of normalcy. This is not to say that this is the time to let our guard down, and it's extremely important that most of the country gets vaccinated, including children's ages 12 to 15. On this, earlier today, we spoke with ITV Gold's health expert, Dr. Tushar Patel. Here is Dr. Patel. India and the ongoing surge. Today, the country surpassed 20 million cases, and we're looking at 222,000 deaths in the country. Many experts are saying this is a huge undercount of the cases and the deaths in the country. How are you observing it? What is exactly going on in India? How did this surge become so bad?
So Aditi, the first thing first is this is so unfortunate for our country. It is heartbreaking. I have so much sympathy for the first responders, the people of India. The government, the administration, the health unit did not work together, did not do appropriate communication to people, and prematurely announced the victory over COVID-19 pandemic back in February. Very unfortunate circumstance for the country. We could have done a better job by communicating this to our people, not to do many events, super spreader events, which we had done. And it is very unfortunate for our country that, and the numbers, like you said, coming out is probably 3, 4, 5 times more than we get from the government.
Right. So do you think Prime Minister Narendra Modi is responsible for this surge? He did let Hindu Festival of Kumbh Mela take place. He did let election rallies take place. Do you think it's his fault?
Not only the government, I think everyone else is also responsible. The healthcare providers, the healthcare in the government system, they should also be responsible. And above all, the people in India also should be responsible. There are a few things I want to reiterate here. We have a very poor infrastructure, low testing level, underreported cases, human error, and no requirement of reporting. So what happened after November 2020, what happened from November 20 until March 2021, the number of cases, actual cases going on in India were underreported. So I think the government also responsible for not taking care of that. And I think people got the wrong message. The communication was not the right.
What are some of the conditions, because I'm sure that you are in touch with some doctors in India, what are the situations that they're telling you is happening in the hospitals? What is the real case that's going on?
So right now, two important things is happening in India. The oxygen concentrations, the oxygen levels, the supply of the oxygen is not there. The bed for the critical patients are not there. So people are advised to stay home, get to their temple or the Gurudwara and get the treatment, oxygen treatment there. Very unfortunate circumstance for our country. We should be prepared. And I think this was expected that the second wave definitely will hit India sometime this year. It reached very quickly.
Right. Certain states in India will go into lockdown in the coming days, or that's what we are hearing. Do you think this lockdown should happen right now?
It should happen. It should happen yesterday, actually. It is too late now to do the lockdown because the number of cases, people are on the streets right now, waiting in the line to get the oxygen, to get into the hospital. They have money, but they cannot get the hospital bed. Very, very unfortunate situation right now.
Right. And there's another question about vaccine, Dr. Patel. We're hearing that India would like to have the intellectual property of vaccines such as Pfizer. Do you think United States should share that information so that we can start vaccinating more individuals in India?
In fact, the government of India had enough vaccination initially. I think they distributed to other country on a good faith. That was not a good call. However, whatever the help they can get right now from the foreign countries, I don't think the UK has any supplies. However, the United States may have excess supplies and they should reach out. And the government of US, Biden administration should definitely lend their hand to get the vaccinations to India. Because what happens in India definitely will impact the US and other countries as well.
Let's now take a look at New York City's most iconic and famous landmark, the Empire State Building, which recently celebrated its 90th anniversary. The building opened in May 1931 when then President Herbert Hoover officially flipped the switch from the White House. Since then, the illuminations from the top of the Empire State Building have made it one of the world's most liked destinations. On the occasion of the 90th anniversary, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said that this building saw us through many challenges. It was built in the middle of depression and saw us through wars and every other challenge, but stood as a beacon. We have tonight a special segment on the Empire State Building on dominating New York City skylines for 9 decades, featuring popular personalities and actors. The building has appeared in numerous films, TV shows, cartoons, and more, becoming a global landmark recognized by all. Here is the story.
You're one of my first memories of coming to America. Mom and Dad took me down to take a look at you when I was just 5 years old, and you were magical.
What is closest to my heart is spending an entire night with my husband up there. It is definitely one of my most fondest memories ever.
My son and I say goodnight to you every night.
Thank you for standing tall and strong and proud.
Happy 90th birthday to the Empire State Building, the most famous building in our country.
You represent the strength, beauty, and resilience of New York City. Happy 90th birthday, Empire State Building.
The Empire State Building, repping New York strong.
It is the welcoming beacon to everyone to the center of the universe.
Happy 90th to the world's most famous building.
Happy birthday, Empire State Building. You look good. Sure do.
A fabulous 90th birthday. Sweetheart, has anyone ever told you you don't look a day over 98?
I went there when I was 14 years old. It was so beautiful and so magical, and it sparked my desire to want to move to New York.
Hey, Empire State Building, I just have one thing to say to you.
Happy birthday!
New York City's most beautiful and iconic landmark, the Empire State Building. A very happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday, Empire State Building.
Wishing you 90 more years of making the New York City skyline shine bright for the world to enjoy.
Happy birthday!
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday.
Very happy 90th birthday. Here to many, many more.
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday, Empire State Building.
You are looking gorgeous as ever. Happy 90th birthday.
Very happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy 90th birthday, Empire State Building.
90 years for 102 stories. Happy birthday, Empire State Building.
Iconic. I hope you're having the best day, Empire State.
The last time I was at the Empire State Building, got to go right to the top, and it is a memory I will never forget.
I went back there in 2019 after winning the Indianapolis 500, and it's one of the best memories of my life.
Happy 90th birthday, Empire State Building. This has always been my favorite place to shoot. Clearly the views are spectacular.
Happy 90th birthday to the Empire State Building.
Such an iconic building in the world.
I really will never forget the moment I was up there for the first time.
Wishing a happy 90th birthday to the Empire State Building. 90 years old.
Looks incredible.
Can't believe it. Aged well.
Empire State Building's 90th birthday.
90th birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Here's to many more years of dazzling lights from the world's most famous building.
Well, it's time for another short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I am Diti Lama, and this is Vision of Asia, South Asian News segment. Let's now take a look at the National Federation of Indian American Associations, one of the largest non-profit umbrella organizations of Indian associations. The non-profit aims to unify the diverse Indian American community by promoting and fostering goodwill between the people of the United States and the people of India. The association serves as a catalyst and as a forum for fellowship, exchange of ideas, and representation of the interests of the Indian American community. On that, recently, in collaboration with the Indian Consulate of New York, the National Federation of Indian American Association presented a virtual conversation. The virtual event featured community leaders along with Deputy Consul General Shatrughan Sinha, clarifying several issues mostly pertaining to consular services that are of most importance to the community. Most of the discussion dealt with the recent overseas citizenship of India and visa regulations. Here is the story.
So first it's my honor and privilege to introduce NFIA President, Mr. Ajay Dubey, and I would like to request him to say some opening remarks.
Thank you, Bhujanji. Honorable Consulate Officer of New York and all our friends all over US. We'd like to welcome you to this program, interactive session with our consulate people regarding visa and OCI. And we are doing this type program on and off. This is our Gunjanji did that. And I like to invite everybody to join NFIA.
Overseas citizenship of India cards provide a lot of privileges to Indian diaspora, people who have stayed abroad and taken up nationality of foreign countries. With this card, you can stay in India for as long as you wish. There is no requirement of getting visas renewed or traveling out of the country. You are treated at par with Indian nationals in most of economic activities. You are with only certain restrictions. You can pursue any profession. So all these advantages are included in the OCI card. And for the last 1 year, we have suddenly seen a dramatic rise in the number of OCI card applications, mostly because visas have been suspended since March 12th, 2020. And all those who had tourist visas, multi-entry 10-year validity tourist visas, those were being used by many people to go and visit their families back in India. Those have been suspended because of COVID-related restrictions. And because of that, people have to get an emergency entry visa to travel to India. However, the OCI card holders can travel freely to India as like Indian nationals. So there are a number of advantages brought with an OCI card.
Basically, I'll give details, summary details of all matters, visa, OCI, renunciation, and we can take the questions one by one. And I think after this brief thing, a lot of questions will be answered there only. First, coming to the visa, of course, we would suggest that presently, please do not travel unless it is extremely urgent. And as on date, all tourist visa, including the e-tourist visa, is suspended. In case you have to travel in emergency, you have to obtain emergency entry visa from the consulate. And in death cases, the emergency visas are given on the same day. Anybody who has a death in the immediate family, they can come with the death certificate to the consulate from 9:30 to 11:30, and visa will be issued on the same day. For regarding emergency and other cases, please send it by mail and it will be processed because now there is we are under control. There is not much delay and it will be processed within a day or two once we receive the visa application in the consulate. So this is for the visa. On weekends, of course, you can call our emergency numbers. If there is a death in the family and you have to travel urgently and you need emergency visa, please call our emergency number, tie up the timings, and we will issue the visa on the same day. Coming to OCI, now as most of the people are aware, there is a new guidelines on the OCI renewal, and it has been simplified. Now the OCI card holders are required to renew their OCI only once on completion of 20 years of age. Rest of the persons, OCI carders, are not required to renew their OCI card now. They have to renew it only once after completion of 20 years of age. Of course, there is a requirement of uploading online the copies of the US passport and the new picture in a OCI module, which we will inform you as the time goes by. The module is getting ready. And this service is free of charge. So Uploading is free of charge. You are not required to pay any fees for that. As for the major change, I think the apprehension is the March 2021 Gazette notification in OCI. As time and again we have said, there is no major change in the OCI guidelines or stipulations. The only change is that farmhouse have been added. You cannot now buy or purchase or sell farmhouses. That is the only change in the March 2021 Gazette notification. And people are a little apprehensive about that notification. The Gazette notification is available on our website. You can go through in detail. And there is another change that we have brought about after the feedback from general public is sending US passport to VFS in new OCI card cases. In the new OCI applications, earlier it was required to send US passports, original US passports. Now it is not required. You have to send only a notarized copy of the US passport. So that is for the OCI. And PIO, of course, as on date, the PIO's cards are valid for travel till December 2021. But we request everybody, please convert your PIO to OCI cards. We have been saying it since last 2015. If anybody is holding PIO card, please get it converted into OCI card. Coming to renunciation, as you all know, renunciation is mandatory for obtaining an OCI card. And not much documentary requirements are needed in renunciation. You just need a naturalization certificate. And of course, the Indian passport, the old Indian passport, so that it can be cancelled and the citizenship can be renounced. Coming to passport, there is not much difficulty except for the delay part. There are not much difficulties in renewing the passport. If you are a B1, B2 visa holder who has come here and stuck due to COVID, please file the extension and give us the copy of I-797C and your passports can be renewed even if you have come on a visitor visa. Generally, it is observed that if any passport application is pending, it is generally due to non-submission of Annexure D, which is parental authorization. That is what we have observed on our day-to-day working. Parental authorizations are not submitted, which delays the issue of passports to minors. And of course, the visa status, copy of the visa status is not provided. These are the two documents which basically delays the delivery of passports.
And this wraps up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook at itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia and I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.